Hello, I'm Paul O'Connell, and I'm pleased to be giving a lecture series of talks at the ALR meetings. They'll be coming up in October. I'll give the date shortly. I grew up on a farm in southern Minnesota, a dairy farm. My father had had dairy cattle and hogs and chickens, and very typical farm at that time. My formal education is I went to University of Minnesota for my undergraduate degree, and that was in dairy management. And my second degree was from Colorado State University, in that was in agricultural economics. I spent time at the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania. In Didn't graduate there because the government moved me to another location. And then I got my PhD degree at the University of Wisconsin, basically forest economics, natural resource economics. And so that's my main formal degrees. So far as the kind of positions I had, I worked initially in a large dairy firm in St. Paul, Minnesota for about 4 years as an economist. I shifted gears after that and went and joined the U.S. Forest Service. And my first assignment was in Tucson, Arizona. That's where I became to like the Southwest and what it had to offer. Anyway, I was project leader for a multi-use economics project there, economics project. There was about 4 of us. And our purpose was, that's when the environmental movement came in, and the Forest Service had to look at more than just timber, water, and grazing. They had to include wildlife habitat, recreation concerns, wilderness, that sort of thing. And so our team did the studies on economics of making those adjustments all up and down the Intermountain West. And from there, I was there for about 6 years. Then I went to Madison, Wisconsin, where I was assistant director for the Forest Products Lab in Madison. And I was there for about 3 years. And then I went from there to U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C. And some of the positions I had many positions there, but some of the main was I was deputy administrator for CSRS, which is the organization at that time that dispersed the federal money to the land grant institutions like New Mexico State University. And I did that for a while. I also was assistant secretary for science and education, and Orville Bentley was the assistant secretary. And I used to help with speech writing and those sort of things, testified on the Hill on many different science and education issues. And I also was director of a new uses program for ag and forest products. And I was there until about 1993, 94. Then I went from there to the World Bank, which is also in Washington, D.C. area. And I went there in 94, yeah. And I was economist in the Rural Development Division. And the sort of things that I worked on, I helped with others administering loan programs that the World Bank had, especially in rural development. That was my specialty. I worked in countries like Sub-Saharan Africa, Malawi, in the Gold Coast, Ukraine, Philippines, Brazil, a fair number of countries that I worked in. Some of the other responsibilities that I had there was that I ran the World Bank exhibit in Hanover, Germany in 2000, where we brought people in from around the world showing what we did. It was one of the more interesting assignments I had while I was there. I ran a partnership arrangement with Walt Disney down in Orlando, Florida. And that's also where we brought people from Latin America, Africa, Asia, to show how they grew their food, how they processed it. And we had that for about 3 months for 6 years at Walt Disney at the Epcot Center. That was a very interesting assignment. And so then also, in addition to that, I lectured in Australia and New Zealand, so that kind of gives a little indication of my background. Then in in 2008 I came out to Las Cruces and basically retire, at least semi-retire. I knew Lowell Catlett, who was dean at the Ag College, and I taught in the Ag Econ departments for about 3 years. Primarily now I'm teaching in the Doniana Community College and teaching different microeconomics. So anyway, that kind of gives my background in academic training. The title of my talk is We Live in an Interconnected World. And I've had the privilege of having done many international activities, not only at the World Bank, but before I went there I did some of that also. Anyway, that's going to be held on October 15th, 17th, 22nd, and 24th. It's going to be a Tuesday, Thursday. It'll be 10:30 to noon, and it'll be at the Good Samaritan Auditorium at fairly close to the Memorial Hospital, 311 Buena Vista Circle. And I'll be giving 4 talks there, those 4 different times. And the first one will be about the World Bank and how it has, and related international organizations that the World Bank interacted with and that I interacted when I was there. Why and when it was founded, who does it give loans to, project management, major issues over the years and today that they have, other international organizations that they interact with and how they function, experience in Afghanistan. And so I'll go through those sort of things and present them. So that'll be my first talk. That'll be on October 15th. And then the second one is, the title of it is basically Why the American Dream is Disappearing for Most Americans. And some of the reasons why is globalization, technology, shift to a service economy, decline in union representation, change in tax laws, and those are some of the major reasons why there's been the attainment of an American dream is becoming more difficult. And it's led to a significant increase in income and wealth inequality. And so I'll talk about why that matters, possible solutions, that sort of thing. And also, with the current government shutdown, I'll probably talk about that a little bit too, and the implications. That's a pretty hot topic, especially if you're laid off. And so that's the second one. That's on, let me see, that's on October 17th. October 22nd, the main title of it will be Contending Economic Theories, Feudalism, Capitalism, Marxism, Keynesian, and their implications. These have been ever since the Industrial Revolution of the 18th century. These have been the major economic theories that have been promoted. And so how they impact today's economy and political discussions and the implications of that. And so that will be the main focus of the third talk. And then the fourth will be, the title of it will be Distorted Economics of Our Healthcare System. And I'll do the story of 4 patients that others have done an analysis of, just to kind of give an indication of how people deal with this, and then how hospitals determine how they charge for what they do, and other factors that impact costs like lab tests, MRI, drugs, needed medical malpractice, lobbying Congress, CFO compensation, how these all affect what we pay for health care. Also break down recent family illness that was in our family, my wife actually. And then I'll talk about ways out of this mess. And so that will be the 4 talks that I'll be giving. And so I'm very happy to be involved and get questions from people that will be there. And I hope to see you.